the mixer, from my fingers to the fader. Raise your hands up to the speakers. You are here to entertain us. From the DJ to the mixer, from my fingers to the fader. Raise your hands up to the speakers, because this is for the ragers. From the DJ to the mixer, from my fingers to the fader. Raise your hands up to the speakers. You are here to entertain us.
Hello, and welcome to the June 2021 TCNewTech Pitch event. I'm Jennifer Zunko, and I'm the Executive Director of TCNewTech. We are broadcasting live from the 20 Fathoms offices in Traverse City, and we need to give a shout out to the group it's a group of TCNewTech fans that have gathered at the Workshop Brewing to watch tonight's event. We're so glad that you have taken the time to join us. We're all eager to return to our large in-person events, and we hope that's coming soon. But in the meantime, we hope you're making connections online here with us. We have two ways that you can do this. You can use the chat on Facebook or YouTube. Greet your friends, post relevant community announcements, or tonight we're using a platform called Catch. And if you're curious or looking to network with our community, you can download the Go Catch app, and we'll add a link to that in the chat if you can't find it in your app store. And if you enter the TCNewTech code 2027, you can start connecting. So tonight we have 4 startups pitching their emerging businesses, and they're all fascinating. So listen closely, and you can ask your questions at any time during their 5-minute pitch. When the presenters have finished pitching, then you'll have a chance to vote for the one that you feel has the best chance for a successful launch. So now I want to welcome my co-host for tonight, Lisa Baker-Lawrence. Lisa has been with TCNewTech since its inception, and she is the one that makes this next hour look seamless. She does a great job of covering up for all my flaws and my mistakes as I go along, but she also is a business consultant for Access Point, and they're one of our supporting sponsors. So I'm going to bring you on, Lisa. There you are. Welcome.
Hi, Jen. Thank you for the warm welcome. Yeah, my name is Lisa, and I am excited to be back after a couple of months here. And so welcome everybody online. And for those of you at the Workshop Brew Company, we'll be seeing you in about an hour. TCNewTech has been a community on a mission to bring basically all of us together. We want to pool our resources and talk to each other and make things happen. So we've been doing that for several years. So we're excited for those of you that are joining for the very first time. If you'd like to get connected, we encourage you to either become a member or a sponsor or do one of both. You can quickly scan that QR code or visit tcnewtech.org or many of the social platforms to get more information about that. So as you can see, there is a $20 very inexpensive $20 membership donation. You get a really cool t-shirt, but more importantly, you get into our communications, which allow you to help make great decisions and be really informed as to what we're doing here to continue to grow the mission. So this would not be possible, like I mentioned before, without the generous support of our sponsors. And tonight, our pitch prize sponsor is Forefront Credit Union. They are forward focused on banking and giving $500 to the winner this evening. As Jen mentioned, there are 4 presenters tonight, and one of them is going to win $500 sponsored by Forefront Credit Union. So we want to give a little bit of support to our other sponsors this afternoon, or this evening. I guess it's 6 o'clock. So Sarah Hunt, she's an account executive with Michigan Broadband. She is a social media guru. She does a ton of support and has been part of the TCNewTech mission for quite some time. And Michigan Broadband has been bringing fiber to local businesses here for quite a while, and a great support to us. So we've got a quick... Contact Sarah or anybody on her team if you'd like to get connected. So this is a little bit about how we're going to vote tonight. So you will need your cell phone. So you will be giving more direction as the evening progresses, and you will be given directions on how to vote for the company that you believe should win the $500 cash prize. It's a text your vote, and you'll be able to see a live result. So stay tuned. This will happen at the very end of all 4 presentations this evening. And again, we will get this number out to everybody again to make sure you have clear instructions. We're going to roll right into the first pitch. Yeah, we like to get moving right here. So Reese, we want to welcome you to the TCNewTech forum with Novum Automation. Welcome, Reese.
Thank you very much.
I'll give you a second to pull that up. For those of you that are joining for the first time, we give a 5-minute presentation by Reese, and then he'll have 5 minutes for a Q&A. So Reese is going to share his presentation, and for those of you joining either by Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and start getting your questions loaded as he presents, and we will get those read at the Q&A portion. Thank you. Take it away.
All right. Hello, I am Reese Gallagher, owner of Novum Automation. So I'm actually going to start out with the ask just to hopefully get you in the mindset of what we're looking for. So I am hoping that you can help us launch Northern Michigan into the industrial future. As an innovative emerging business here in Northern Michigan, we're not seeking funding for the next milestone or resources to launch a new product. We're seeking honest feedback on our business model and opportunities to support manufacturers that keep Northern Michigan employed. If you have honest advice for us, let's chat. If you have someone in your network that would benefit from our expertise, make an introduction or let them know we exist. Thank you, and I look forward to presenting our company to you today. At Novum Automation, we provide engineered industrial automation services. Our innovative engineering and fabrication team automates manual processes and modernizes obsolete control systems to ultimately optimize productivity and improve profitability. Our mission is to support industrial manufacturing teams. We support industrial manufacturing teams in production and R&D environments with automation controls expertise. We perform as an extension of engineering teams to launch production infrastructure into the future. We have 4 main core focuses and services that we provide: automated test systems, industrial automation, software development, and electrical control panels. Manufacturing demand in Northern Michigan is growing, but can our infrastructure of support keep up? Manufacturing continues to grow, especially in Northern Michigan, but controls and automation support available to manufacturers is lagging behind. Manufacturers are having to operate leaner than ever before and do not have surplus controls expertise or skill sets to advance and improve their processes, barely have enough to keep operating. We have over 360 manufacturers just in the 5 counties of Northern Michigan. On average, they have 8% manufacturing year-over-year growth in the past 5 years. Anecdotally, I would say that about 100% are understaffed or undersupported from the companies that we have been able to visit. Our nimble, experienced team is here to support the manufacturing community. We tackle both aggressive timelines and iterative ongoing developments with ease, effectively facilitating the adoption of Industry 4.0 with absolute efficiency. Our core team is made up of Reese, Chris, Nate, Andrew, Devin, and Shannon. We're all primarily engineers, just enjoying what we do. For industrial automation, we are experts and facilitators in the adoption of Industry 4.0, which is Industrial Internet of Things. We seamlessly integrate the latest industrial communication technology to promote operational efficiency, productivity, and product excellence. For automated test systems, we design and develop custom automated test systems for your custom specifications. We provide turnkey engineered test systems for product development teams in both research and development and manufacturing production environments. With software and development, we design robust software capabilities to enable complete system control and visibility. From simple sensor data acquisition to complex inter-process control and synchronization with real-time analytics, our custom software capabilities support engineering teams at every step in their process. With electrical control panels, we design and develop tailored fabrication of electrical control panel systems. Our engineered control panel systems utilize the most reliable and innovative hardware to meet NFPA 70 and 79 standards with optional UL 508A certification available. Some of our customers are shown here. We have customers regionally, but also nationally as well, from Tenet Hydraulics, TE Technology, Thompson Surgical Instruments, as well as Eaton, Lenovo, Nextier Automotive, and Alpha Roof Systems. Some of the testimonials from our customers would be, I would be afraid to use any other company for our future projects from TE Technology. Novum was quick to understand the logic needed for our software from AFM Corporation. Novum Automation is a great resource to deliver a quality job on schedule, AAR Mobility Systems. A couple of our recent projects are shown here. First, we performed an upgrade of 4 conveyor control systems last year with 10 to 20 VFD drives each for controlling motors on a production line. Full design, build, install, and commissioning of systems within 4 months of the project kicked off was required. Full upgrade of an automated clutch fan testing system down in Cadillac. Both LabVIEW software upgrade and electrical enclosure before and afters are shown. Test time reduction of 30% at the very end, along with reduced downtime and PMs. We also designed and developed a full turnkey industrial production oven. The original industrial oven required 70 feet of linear space. Due to size restraints, though, a new oven had to fit within just a 7 by 7 square foot space. Design and develop the custom switchback conveyor system to fit within the space and provide the necessary heating for customers' product. Again, my ask is, we are an innovative emerging business here in Northern Michigan. We'd like you to help us launch Northern Michigan into the industrial future. Look forward to chatting with you after the presentation. Are there any questions?
Well done. We are always excited when the presenters land right at the 5-minute mark. And for those of you that have been with us a while, I keep track and it was dead on. So well done. Yeah, I do think you made your ask very clear. So I'll look forward to giving everybody a chance to get those questions coming in. So I do see things are starting to roll in. So we'll get them up on the screen and I'll ask them as soon as they come by. Is there a frequently asked question that you get, Reese, that you want to clear up for us while we wait?
I'd say that just in terms of, why is there a need? And I'd say I kind of try to hit on it in terms of manufacturing growth continues and will continue as it seems. But there's a lack in expertise of control support and industrial Internet of Things. So there's going to be kind of the companies that are able to survive are the ones who implement, Industry 4.0 and actually take data in order to make their processes more efficient. And there'll be companies that won't. But the problem is that many companies don't have an in-house controls, support system. And so it's kind of difficult to actually, do that and to survive when it's like, well, we need it, but we don't have anyone in-house and we're being asked to run leaner than ever before.
Right. So you come in and provide that support. It's a great idea. Mike Rolla would like to know, hey, Reese, do you primarily work with LabVIEW or do you work with other platforms as well?
Hey, Mike Rollo. We do work on PLC programming as well, more in the industrial applications. So that'd be like your Allen Bradley PLCs and your Automation Direct Productivity Series PLCs. We also dabble in a little of Python and C and C++, but primarily it's LabVIEW on the R&D side, and then PLC programming, which is the ladder logic programming structure on the industrial side.
Awesome. You can probably see Charles has asked, do you work with cobots?
Yes, Charles, we are actively trying to get more and more involved with cobots, but also, FANUC robots, because that just seems that at any industrial facility we've gone into, there's always an opportunity to integrate a robot in order to, just make the process more efficient, run 24/7. And so we are currently not, experts in the field of robots and cobots, but that is on our list for this year's initiatives.
Exciting. I see several OEMs in your client group, Ed said. How are you developing more such OEM clients?
It is sometimes difficult to get into OEMs as a small company, especially. There's a lot of red tape, and they've already kind of got their ends lined up. I think what we're seeing is that getting in with distributors such as H.H. Barnum and Schultz Automation, where we can show them what we can do, especially this far north. There's a lot of support in the Detroit area, Grand Rapids, and even out on the east side in Saginaw. But for this far north, there's not a lot of control support. So being tied into the distributors to show them what we can do, they go into all the facilities, and basically they've got great products, but a lot of times they don't have someone to integrate it, and neither does the customer. And so we kind of fill that space as systems integrators as well. And so that's how we try to get in the door.
Fantastic. There was an earlier question that we might have just popped over, but when did you launch Novum?
So we just recently rebranded from Gallagher Engineering. So I'd say we launched Novum about 5 months ago. So kind of at the start of this year, actually.
Exciting. We do have about 1 more minute if anybody is dying to ask that last question. So you are in Traverse City. You launched 5 months ago,
yes,
and are you hiring?
For as long as needed. We are looking into the future in terms of growth, and so I'd say we're always actively looking for resources. Right now, I think we're casting a big net in terms of just what we can do, and I feel like in about a year or two, we're going to really settle in on a very niche market where we'll be able to expand and kind of see the higher profit margins. But right now, we're just getting an expertise in a lot of different industrial Internet of Things areas in order to help out as systems integrators and help out as controls experts. And I think that's going to be a win-win for everyone.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. I think that we've got 30 seconds, so I will just go ahead and wrap it up. What's the best way that they can contact you if they are interested in supporting Novum today? Just go to
novumautomation.com and fill out a request form on the Contact Us page.
Okay, and last question. I've been out of the industrial manufacturing space for some time, but spent a summer as a manufacturing engineer at Next Year Automotive. Nice plug. Have the protocols changed in the space since then?
I would say maybe, communication protocols haven't really changed too much. There's been some new ones like MQTT, if that's what you're speaking to. I don't know what reference for protocols, but there's been a couple new ones. OPC UA has kind of started to come out, and MQTT as big players in the unified namespace, genre. And so I'd say, yeah, overall, there's been a couple new ones, but the old ones still stand. They're always going to be there, and I think we need to be aware to be able to support them as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Reese. We appreciate you being here. Stick around. We'll be doing our voting in just a little while.
Great. Thank you, Lisa.
All right. So next on the docket, we have our second pitch, and we want to welcome Clayton Comey of Lightning Designer. He splits his time between California and Northern Michigan. We got to bring, there we go. Hi, Clayton. How are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. You missed my awesome introduction. I apologize for that. Yeah. Lightning Designer. We look forward to hearing from you. Go ahead and get rolling.
Okay. So thanks so much for having me. My name is Clayton Comey. I'm currently a product manager with Clipboard Health. But before that, I spent 13 years in the film and television industry as a cinematographer and lighting director. I learned plenty of tricks of the trade during that time, but the biggest industry secret I learned is that lighting setups don't just magically happen, born of divine inspiration. This one night shooting setup took hundreds of hours of work, dozens of people, and probably cost $250,000. So mistakes are expensive, to say the least. So we make lighting plots. They're a reference for all the technicians to execute the setup so everything goes smoothly. The problem is all the current plot design solutions really miss the mark on most of the pain points lighting professionals deal with every day. High-end software is too expensive for most technicians and overkill for most jobs, and you have to use a computer, which isn't great for scouting locations or working on set. Low-end software just isn't flexible enough, so you need multiple solutions for one problem, and you'll need to find another one for the next job. And the alternative is something like this. Now, I know there's something romantic about sketching on a bar napkin, but for a lighting technician, this is a nightmare, and I've seen it far too many times. So I took a fresh look at what my colleagues and I actually need from lighting software, and I came up with Lighting Designer. Lighting Designer is a SaaS platform that takes the biggest oversights of other solutions and makes them the key features. First of all, it's easy to use. Make a plot in 5 minutes if that's all the time you have, or go big. It scales to fit your needs. Second, it's affordable. We're not aiming for the super users designing massive stadium concerts. We're targeting the majority of lighting pros who just need a reliable tool to do their job, and it works on iOS, Mac, Windows, and Android. And that's important because third, it's collaborative. Think Google Docs for lighting. The whole crew shares this living plot. So all the versions, all the last minute changes throughout the whole process, they just sync together. No other software, not even the high-end stuff, does that. Now, I developed the first version of Lighting Designer myself for iPad only. It's a one-time purchase and includes many of the plot design features. Migrating to a monthly subscription model with collaborative features will be a huge step in realizing LD's full product and financial potential. Of course, I was just doing this because at the time it solved my own problems as a lighting professional, but now we have 2,000 annual users all over the world. That's with no marketing, no sales department, just being available in the App Store. And it made me realize that this product has a lot of value to the market, and they're sending me weekly emails asking when I'm planning to expand. I've reached the limit of my self-taught engineering skills, so I've connected with dual boot partners, an end-to-end software development team based in Michigan. And my specific combination of professional lighting expertise and tech product experience makes me the ideal person to deliver the solution. The lighting industry breaks down into three silos: film and television, live events, and education. Together, they're a market of around 350,000 people, worth over $200 million annually with our subscription rates. So I have a lot of room to grow just by expanding into more platforms and more languages. iOS, our only current platform, is just 6% of the devices lighting pros prefer to use, and English, our only current language, covers only half of the worldwide market. One of the great things about the professional lighting market is that they're very reachable through standard marketing channels: trade shows, monthly publications, social media. But Lighting Designer has one extra powerful marketing channel: its own collaborative use. Someone who runs a show using LD will invite their crew to share their plots, and most lighting pros change jobs regularly, even daily. Now, we're already in a great position to network with our existing users, but on top of that, we can seed the market with many of my industry contacts. I give a copy to one of my cinematographer friends, and they're exposing dozens of other lighting professionals every week just by using it to do their job. With the various streaming services and other studios in an arms race, all trying to outdo each other, this market will only continue to grow. Since 2009, scripted content production has grown 250% at a steady rate. During the pandemic, productions have embraced the value of advanced planning and the ability to work remotely. There have also been recent industry efforts to put a limit on working hours. So our largest professional lighting market is growing and demanding more efficiency. This timing could not be more perfect to establish a new standard workflow. I'm asking for $300,000 to build and advertise the new version of Lighting Designer. Most of these funds will be used to create the product itself and to focus marketing on its ideal customers. We've projected to grow to over $10 million in annual revenue by the end of year 4, still expanding exponentially and looking for acquisition. Now, I'm here to build a company that values lighting professionals' time, certainly more than the film industry ever has. I want to give our customers a fighting chance at living their dream and still having the time to live their lives. But for you, this is an opportunity to address a growing market that's begging for a good solution to its problems. Thank you so much for having me here today. And at this point, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Fantastic, Clayton. Thank you so much. So we did have well, there you go. We're going to start it off with a compliment. Taylor is very excited. So this is super exciting, which I think you're probably going to have similar comments coming through here in just a moment. So first question, does your addressable market include smaller bar, pub, and community event venues, including community theaters like Old Town Playhouse?
It sure does, Ed. The great thing about Lighting Designer is that it's really, really flexible in terms of where you use it and how big the work has to be. It can be very, very small. And the appeal of that is that you can take it anywhere with you on an iPad or on your laptop, and it syncs to any other device you want to use. So you have as much power or as much portability as you want. And actually, community theaters and stuff like that, they're one of our beachhead markets, if I get into a more complex presentation, because they're a great place for traveling shows to come through and see this new technology at work. And once they see that not only can they have this portable plot that is referenceable by many different people, and they can all share it, so they can actually plan ahead with community theaters when they haven't even arrived yet. And any new changes and stuff can get synced there.
Fantastic. Yeah, response to know, how are you protecting your IP so no one else can copy your software app?
So far, we're just going for trade secret. There may be some patents involved, but the idea of collaborative editing isn't exactly new. Google Docs does it, and there have been several really, really successful companies that have done it in the design space, like Figma and Miro, both of which in software design in particular and web design you see all over the place. What we're excited about in particular is the industry expertise. Like the sort of problems that I'm even aware of, having spent 13 years in the film and TV industry, it would take a long time to learn about and a long time to understand the nuances of them and what kind of solutions actually work best for everybody. So, obviously there's nothing much we can do to protect this already very popular idea, but we can get really far ahead.
Quickly,
Services
that
help
makes sense.
novice users with little lighting experience. Well, that's actually something for the future of this. It's not exactly part of the scope of this plot, but the idea of a marketplace is very top of mind for me. This would be a great way to have some users who are more experienced share their plots in an interactive way with users who are less experienced. And speaking of beachhead markets, I mentioned film and TV a lot because that's where I come from. But our third beachhead market, film, TV, regional theaters, and our third beachhead market is education, because lighting designer is a wonderful educational tool. And we're actually going to be building in educational specialized subscription levels so that an instructor can get one subscription to share with their entire class. And they'll be able to not only learn all the techniques and how to use the software, but then they will come into the professional market and help grow the software space even more.
Great. Fantastic. So it looks like we have about a minute and a half. So any of you on our social media platforms, if you've been waiting to type in a question, now would be your time. Clayton with a lighting designer app. When did you get started?
It was a while ago. It was almost 10 years ago that it was right after the iPad was released, and I looked at it and said, hey, this is a great tool for doing lighting plots, and nobody has made one yet. So I had to teach myself how to do it, which took a little while, and then I released it, and I've been updating ever since then, which means I have found really, really good product market fit for exactly what it is now. And I've had a lot of time to consider exactly how it could expand into something even more useful and more widespread. And this is the result of all of that. So I'm very much looking forward to actually having the firepower, the engineering power to solve all these problems that I've found.
That's great. Did have one question come through, and that is from Charles. Is standard lighting equipment in a catalog file in your software for plug and play use?
Sure is. We have about 500 items that can be configured in 2,000 unique ways. So like different sizes and shapes and orientations that they can appear on the plot. And in addition to that, we've partnered with a lighting database called Crescit, and they provide, I think, around 32,000 additional items that can be added to the plot for a yearly subscription, which is actually quite cheap. It's $20 a year. So we've integrated that database, but without even doing that, there are 2,000 items that can be not only configured in various ways, but renamed and redefined so that even though they're generally generic items, they can be made very specific by the user to fit the user's needs.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Clayton. We appreciate you presenting and sticking it out for 10 years. This is when the magic happens right here at TCNewTech for you.
Yeah.
Get the big launch going for you. So stick around. We'll have a chance to vote for Clayton and lighting designer here in just a moment. Thanks so much. Next on the docket, we want to give a quick update from Creative Coast. They have a video to share with us. One moment. Before we move into the next presentation, we want to take a moment and say thank you to a few of our supporting sponsors. Susan and her team over at State Farm over on 8th Street, providing local insurance coverage for those businesses and individuals that need free quotes and free coffee. You can visit her. We also have members of our SCORE group here in town that have been actively engaged with our business community, including but not limited to the TCNewTech presenters for some time. So if you'd like some business support, reach out to our SCORE team here locally. Northern Michigan Angels, of course, have been investing in our startups for many, many years and have been a strong supporter of TCNewTech since the inception. So thank you, Northern Michigan Angels. And the Nielsen Family Foundation as well. Thank you so much to all of our sponsors. We could not be successful without your support. Third in the lineup tonight, we want to welcome Pete and Larry.
Good evening. How are you? Thanks for having us, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you. So you told me how to say the name, and I'm afraid I'm going to. Eridatum.
You got it.
Yes. Okay. Welcome. We look forward to hearing from you.
Great. So I guess
Take it away.
I'll just jump right into it. So Eridatum is a clean tech company that provides access absolutely anywhere. We go places that other cell towers can't by installing self-powered wireless macro tower infrastructure. For simplicity, think of us as providing towers and power to cell carriers and internet service providers for customers they couldn't reach before. Today, 45 million Americans lack access to high-speed connectivity. We formed Eridatum in the midst of the COVID pandemic. With more people having to work and attend school from home, a gap in connectivity became more and more apparent. Closing that gap and delivering equal access to everyone became our mission. The problem that we see are actually twofold. One is access to geographical applications, and the second is power related. It's just too costly to run power in many scenarios or to put a tower in rugged environments. Our self-powered towers eliminate the cost to run new power lines and frees our towers to go places others can't. Imagine providing connectivity on an island or connecting a community on a mountaintop. Areas such as that. That's where Eridatum has been designed to bring technology to the environment. The 5G market. Oh, we don't
challenging terrain.
Sorry.
Untapped.
Unfortunately, we have a video set up, so it goes right to that. Apologies. The 5G market is driving a $500 billion investment in new wireless infrastructure to a tune of more than 300,000 new cell towers needing to be constructed. Eridatum's looking to capture about 2,000 of these locations to build our company. There's a significant government push to connect those in rural environments, such as the FCC's $20 billion Rural Digital Opportunity Fund. What we're starting to see because of the pandemic is a change in how densification of application has started to happen. Most of the 5G push has been into urban environments. With the pandemic and people leaving the cities, moving to more rural environments, the need for connectivity has become that much more important. What we found and have seen, and all of us have kind of probably experienced it, especially up north, is as we've gone home from our locations to work and to learn from a school perspective, connectivity hasn't been available to us. Eridatum offers multiple advantages to a traditional cell tower. The cost of running power lines averages $400,000 or more per mile. Eridatum eliminates the need to run power lines to remote areas. With modular components, site construction times are reduced, and the tower site can be prepped and fully installed within a few days. No cranes are required, and no concrete is poured on site. Our tower itself embeds a vertical axis wind turbine at the core, a highly effective design that captures wind from any direction. From there, we scale additional energy components to the needs of a particular cell site, ensuring power is always available. Tracking solar panels provide power during the daylight hours to complement the wind power. These both feed into a vanadium flow battery, sized to provide 24 hours of energy storage. If the battery ever gets too low, we have a redundant clean propane generator. This is designed to run as a backup and will operate for years without needing to refill the propane. Unlike existing cell sites that only have limited single-phase power available, Eridatum produces significant three-phase power and is scalable to be future-proof for new energy needs. Our towers go beyond just a self-powered solution for far-off areas. As the only carrier-grade cell tower that is renewably powered, we uniquely enable cell carriers to achieve their commitments to sustainability. Ever since the winter storms in Texas caused widespread cellular outages, carriers have realized that they can't rely on the grid. So our 99.999% uptime gives them valuable security. If the grid goes down, Iridatum's connectivity and communications are still operable in blackout and brownout conditions. Our business model, we own and operate the towers, very similar to other tower companies, but with additional revenue streams from the power side. We lease vertical access space for antenna arrays to carriers and base station space for edge co-location. We sell them the power we generate, and we sell them the power we generate and that they use, and we provide them backup power similar to the redundancy that commands a premium in a Tier 4 data server farm. Our go-to-market strategy supports and meets the needs of many customers, from traditional cell carriers, governments, and others. Our initial rollout plan is made up of a WISP, a fixed wireless internet service provider, acting as the anchor tenant. There are nearly 4,000 WISPs in the US alone. Once a tower is constructed, a telecom carrier acts as a second tenant. They are required to seek an existing tower before building a new one. So we are a valuable asset in these rural environments. We also provide infrastructure ready for future applications of edge computing and EV charging. From a competitive perspective, our towers are physical telecommunication communication infrastructure, a niche technology whose only competition from the standpoint of these rural environments relies on non-terrestrial or satellite applications, such as HughesNet, Viasat, or SpaceX. With Iridatum, we bridge a digital divide with a terrestrial solution that doesn't involve launching things into the atmosphere. So we're an Earth-based technology. We're powering life-changing ways to live, work, and play in a connected environment. From remote learning to edge computing, from self-driving cars to esports, it's all possible with Iridatum. We're beginning our installs in North America, but we have a worldwide solution for connectivity. The team is basically headed up by individuals from varying backgrounds with a foundation in wireless connectivity and power technologies. And with that, I'm done.
For now. For now, you've got questions to answer. Thank you so much. So that we do have a few questions that have already started to come in. So for those of you that are watching, we encourage you to put your question in the chat box, both on YouTube and Facebook. Ed would like to know, how do you see federal infrastructure spending propelling your scaling strategy?
Well, that's a great question, Ed. Specifically, the Rural Development Opportunity Fund, the RDOF, seems to be our biggest application into that space. The problem that we see out there from the standpoint of cellular telecommunications and 5G is that these environments, these rural environments, have been ground that's been given up on. Northern Michigan, for example, where I am currently right now, I'm in just north of Muskegon. We're lacking cell towers. The only reason why I'm able to do this right now is because we were able to boost our signal utilizing some of the older technologies that are sitting around here right now, or otherwise we wouldn't be able to connect. So the ability to drop terrestrial-based cell towers into environments that couldn't handle it because of the lack of power connectivity or cost or geography are helping us to kind of go down that road. The government has doled these funds out already, and so we're just kind of reaching back and working with cellular communication providers and WISPs and MNOVs to kind of go down that road. So
the Spiffiest from YouTube would like to know, to what levels are the towers winterized?
So that's a great question, because we did mention the aspect of the Texas aspect of things that were going on down that way. The cool thing about our towers is that they are a vertical access wind turbine, which means that they kind of run like an egg beater. So the way that we've developed these is it's kind of like a rubber band mechanism. So if ice were to form on the outside of the blades, we're able to bring them down and snap them like a rubber band, so it snaps the ice off of them. So it's 100% winterized. In fact, our alpha test site is up in Ishpeming, Michigan. So we took the harsh Michigan winters to test these out.
Excellent. Reese, how many units do you have in the field currently? And Reese asks, how many units do you have in the field currently, and how long have they been in operation? Any failures due to weather-related events?
So, Reese, that's a great question. So we are a startup. So we have an alpha test site up in Ishpeming running the wind turbine aspect of the tower. So that's the only tower we have up and running. We're looking to raise seed money right now and our Series A to get our first pilots out into the marketplace. They are weather applications from the standpoint of vertical axis wind turbines don't have the same problems that a horizontal axis wind turbine has with respect to high wind applications. We're designed to go up into hurricane force winds because we don't have to sit and shut down for the rotation set aside by the application itself. So we're designed specifically for high wind environments.
So what about how many watt hours per day are required for an average tower installation?
Great question. So if you ever go out and look up at cell towers, you'll notice that there are cellular arrays on there. And the number of arrays you can tell if the cell tower is a really good one is it has multiple applications on there, multiple triangular cellular arrays. Each array utilizes approximately 20 to 25 kilowatts per cellular array. Our technology is able to develop and distribute up to 165 kilowatts on the minimal side, up to 400 kilowatts on the maximum side. So as we're rolling this out, which allows us to kind of tie in a lot of the edge computing applications that are starting to come down the pike from the 5G aspect of things.
Got a couple more questions here. We do have about 1.5 minutes left. Very cool, Adam says. Internet access and the ability to learn is a human right, in my opinion, so kudos. To what extent have you explored using a mesh network?
That's a great question. So as we're in the environments that we're going into, the lack of geographical applications and power requires us, maybe in some cases, to create a suitable mesh application in and of itself so that we can get back to the core to connect to the net and the telecommunication applications itself. So we will be forced to create a mesh in some circumstances, depending upon the distances between an existing cell tower that's got connectivity to the core and ours, which will require microwave backhaul or 60 gigahertz millimeter wavelength backhaul to connect into that. So mesh is one of those things that we're looking at utilizing. Great question.
Mike wants to know, how much does a tower cost to install?
You know, Mike, if you hadn't asked that question, I would have been surprised. Somebody always asks that question. So here's the deal with respect to this. So the cool thing about normal cell towers run plus or minus $300,000 to install. Because we are a clean tech application with sustainable technology built into it, we get tax credits driven back to us in the up to the extent of 29% here in the United States. So that brings our cell tower application into the same range as a standard cell tower in and of itself. So plus or minus $300,000, plus or minus 10%.
So then that leads into Reese's next question, which is, what is the full estimate cost of one system fully built, delivered, and installed?
Well, we will probably end up being, since we haven't completed and gotten our first pilot up, so this is just an estimation, Reese. What I would say to you is that we're probably in that same ballpark as a standard cell tower, because we don't require cranes to lift our tower up. We don't have any of those first costs associated with building a cell tower as a normal application. Ours is hydraulically lifted. So we eliminate those first costs on crane costs and whatnot. So we're probably about the same cost as a standard cell tower that's going up today.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Pete and Larry with Aerodatum. We look forward to hearing more about this. As you can see, it's a pretty popular topic in our environment today. So stick around. We'll be voting here in just the next couple of moments. So those of you that are wanting to vote for Aerodatum, stick around. We'll give voting instructions here in just a minute.
Lisa, thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we want to give a quick update on some of the events that are happening at 20 Fathoms. Carrie Emote has, did not pronounce your last name correctly, Carrie, I apologize. But she's here with a video and she's going to tell us some of the great events that are going to be happening here at 20 Fathoms.
Hi everyone, my name is Carrie Amlett and I'm the Director of Marketing at 20 Fathoms, a tech incubator and co-working space in Traverse City. Today, I want to tell you more about our co-working space overlooking Grand Traverse Bay. As more people are thinking about returning to the office, we are excited to offer new options that provide both the community and the flexibility that we all crave right now. First up, co-working space memberships. We offer 4 different options based on your needs and budget. A dedicated desk membership gets you a desk all to yourself to set up your monitors and settle in. We have 2 shared space options that allow you to grab a hot desk whenever you're in the space. And with the starter 5-pack membership, you get 5 day passes each month to use whenever you need a change of scenery in your workday. Finally, we have a new guest pass option that you can add on to any membership that allows your guests to receive 2 day passes each month. Next, we have private offices available. These offices have great natural light and fit 2 to 3 people comfortably. We are now accepting short-term leases for these offices. So if you're planning to be in town for the summer and need a place to work, this could be a good option. New this spring is our corporate membership packages. We know many businesses closed their offices permanently during the pandemic. As things reopen, these teams may like a place where they can meet together on occasion. These packages offer monthly access to our conference rooms and our co-working space. Finally, if you're going to be in Traverse City for the summer and need a space to work, or if you're otherwise interested in occasional use, we are offering day passes to our co-working space, as well as conference room rental. Get all the details about these options and learn more about the benefits of working at 20 Fathoms at 20fathoms.org/flexibility, or email us or give us a call and we'd be happy to chat about options. Switching gears, the current cohort of our HealthSpark Accelerator wraps up the program at the end of June. Definitely mark your calendars for Demo Day on June 30th. Also, we have 2 more keynotes that are open to the public. Casey Cowell and Greg Van Bosch will talk about building an investor and tech startup relationship on June 3rd. And Ed Ness and John Shulman will talk about rural healthcare post-pandemic on June 10th. Learn more and register for these events at our Eventbrite page, 20fathoms.eventbrite.org. Finally, 20 Fathoms is a nonprofit organization. We are grateful to all of our supporters. I especially want to thank our founder-level sponsors, Munson Healthcare, Boomerang Catapult, the Jim and Diana Huckle Family Foundation, and the MEDC. Thanks, everyone, and please have a great month.
Thank you, Carrie and team at 20 Fathoms. We're having a great time here at 20 Fathoms broadcasting TCNewTech, and want to say a hello to those of you over at the workshop. So if you're in Traverse City and you want to head that way, we're all going to be joining for a beverage here very soon. Moving into our 4th and final pitch, I want to welcome Keith Evans of Great Lakes Crystal Technology. Hi, Keith.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for being here today. We'll give you a chance to get your presentation loaded. You've got 5 minutes of presentation time, and then I will ask you 5 minutes of questions. Thank you.
Okay, is it not loaded already?
I can see it. Yes, sir.
Okay, awesome. Shall I start?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, sorry, I'm trying to.
I gave you the thumbs up, but you might not be able to see.
Oh, no, yeah, I've got only 2 monitors, and so you guys.
I realize.
Thank you so
take
much
it away.
for having me here. I'm Keith Evans, President and CEO of Great Lakes Crystal Technologies. We make semiconductor-grade diamond for advanced applications in electronics, optics, and quantum technologies. Over $500 billion in annual sales are attributed to silicon devices, and yet competing semiconductor materials are required to enable disruptive technological advances, often first for defense applications and almost always with massive unforeseen commercial payoffs. For example, gallium arsenide was developed for military radar, but it went on to enable big brick cell phones to shrink to what they look like today and make cell phone batteries last 10 times longer. They had all kinds of other benefits, created red laser pointers, red scanners in the checkout counter, red LEDs, and even impacted triple junction solar cell technology. And my career has been spent on all these post silicon materials, only a few of which are shown here. So today, diamond is poised to enable even greater disruptive changes, and we believe we have the technology and the team to lead the way. Our materials are needed by early adopters at Argonne National Laboratory and other advanced light sources worldwide to improve their X-ray optics and their high-energy particle detection technologies to support their never-ending technology and applications roadmaps. If we do just that, we'll build a $100 million company, I'm sure. But we have enormous potential to build a $1 billion company or greater by supplying into 2 near-term disruptive application spaces. As the ultimate semiconductor, which diamond is called, it is uniquely positioned to enable development of high power density integrated motor drives required for next generation drones and other electric aviation, something we didn't think about 10 years ago. These are applications where high efficiency, low weight, and high reliability operation are of paramount importance. And diamond is well positioned to become the winning platform material, supporting new applications and industries based on quantum sensors, quantum communications, and other quantum technologies, which will transform our lives for sure, but non-predictable ways. We forecast the combined market opportunity for semiconductor-grade diamond materials to grow from $600 million in 2020 to surpass $6 billion by 2030. If making semiconductor-grade diamond was easy, others would have beat us to the punch. It turns out it is much easier to make diamond that meets the cost and quality requirements of the $100 billion diamond gemstone market, which is rapidly replacing earth mine diamonds with synthetic diamond. Indeed, most of our competitors were created to attack that market. Most of them cannot make semiconductor grade diamond if they try, and none of them are highly motivated to do so. The solution to curing this pain in the market, we believe, is the advanced technology developed at Michigan State University over the last 36 years. This includes 34 years of being led by our technical founder, Professor Tim Grotjan, which attracted the Fraunhofer USA Center for Coatings and Diamond Technologies to locate on campus in 2003, and ultimately led to my coming up here and co-founding Great Lakes Crystal Technologies with Professor Grotjan. You can see Paul Coyle there, our chief scientist, joined Professor Grotjan's group in 2017, and he's now our chief scientist. And just today, Dr. Ramon Diaz started as our director of production, and he just finished his PhD in Professor Grotjan's group. Rounding out our team is Lori Weibel, who just joined us in mid-May as a part-time director of finance. She has critical skills to help us do the right thing on our federal contracts, which was an opportunity we've had for a bit now. And I'm so happy she has joined. And then myself, as I mentioned, I spent my entire career commercializing post-silicon semiconductor materials technologies. We've had pretty good traction since we started in August 2019. We've surpassed all the milestones put forth by Spartan Innovations and Red Cedar Ventures, which are subsidiaries of MSU Foundation. We've won 4 Phase 1, 2 Phase 2, and recently a Phase 3 SBIR or STTR with support from NASA, Department of Energy, Department of the Navy, and the Air Force. We've booked an additional $1.2 million in such contracts, and we've closed on $450 million in safe-based seed financing, which is largely why I'm here today. Additionally, our largest investor in the seed round has signed an MOU with us that anticipates several upside opportunities going forward. And we've partnered with a leading optics supplier, InRad Optics, who can rapidly get our materials into the hands of the customers in a very granular market there. And they're a leading provider, but they like to add diamond to their product portfolio. So in summary, our business model is to make the diamond here and market it worldwide, use innovative partnerships where they make sense. Our revenue forecast takes us up to $60 million in combined revenues by 2026, with a healthy contribution from federal R&D contracts. I call this the CRE model. I've watched them grow and others, and personally, I've brought in over $60 million in federal contracts in my career. We hope that you will, I got to be running out close to time here. We hope that this is exciting to you and that you'll join me in Q&A and post presentation discussions and consider participating in our SAFE round. And as soon as we close that, we're going to start looking at the seed round. And we have a lot of exciting exit potential. So thank you very much.
That's an excellent slide to leave up possibly while we bring in some questions, if that's all right. I do have, you don't have to leave it up, obviously. I just make my own rules sometimes. So if any of you have your questions that you'd like to post on both YouTube or Facebook, we do have a few minutes to get those in. So is there a frequently asked question that you have, sir, while we're waiting for that?
You're asking me for a frequently asked question?
Yep.
Well, if there's so many people going after the very large gemstone market, what is it that keeps them from going after our market? And it turns out, and I actually was a little embarrassed, and I didn't know this until I came up to work with Professor Grotjohn, but gemstones, they look really pretty, but they are extremely tolerant of chemical impurities, as long as it doesn't change their color, and also structural defects. So it turns out, I think I would estimate it's about a 50% yield or lower that synthetic gemstone manufacturers have today, but that's enough to get their costs down to where they can penetrate the market and offer lower pricing compared to the earth mine. But there's no way they're going to make something that can stand up to the requirements of an X-ray detector array, and the quantum technology applications are extremely stringent in terms of purity and structural quality and uniformity thereof across the wafer.
Well, that leads us to our first question here, and they're asking, how does the diamond work in high radiation environments, and could this be a viable replacement for sapphire-based rad-hard microprocessors that power space exploration?
Boy, I would have actually given beer to somebody to seed that question. That's perfect. Turns out, and I did learn this recently also from Michigan State University scientists, and I would expect it as a physical chemist, but diamond is extremely radiation hard, much more so than sapphire, much more so than silicon. And it's because the bond strengths are so strong, it takes more radiation to break them. And then it has, and this one I don't understand as much, but it turns out it's sort of self-annealing. After you push a few carbons out of the way, they can return to their former positions. So yes, and we've had funding from NASA to pursue radiation hard diamond power electronics development.
Excellent. The next question here is from Charles. It says, has doping for band gap manipulation been developed to cover a range of band gaps, and is the diamond produced by deposition?
Great questions. So doping is what one normally does to change the conductivity of the material. So because diamond doesn't conduct electricity well at all if it's in its perfect form, nor does silicon, frankly, unless you heat it up. And so one adds some dopants that will contribute electrons to the lattice or take them from the lattice and create holes. The way you change the band gap is through alloying. So with gallium arsenide, you can add aluminum, and now you have aluminum gallium arsenide. So for diamond, the equivalent of changing the band gap would be to add silicon, for instance, and if you go 50-50, you have silicon carbide, which is a much lower band gap material than diamond. So that can be done. The difficulty there is when you change the band gap, you also change the interatomic spacings in the crystal, and so it's difficult to grow them without generating defects. And yes, we use a vapor phase process called microwave plasma assisted chemical vapor deposition to grow the diamond. Thank you for that question.
Ed would like you to explain, please, what pilot line entails. This seems like a critical path item.
Yes, I believe it is. It is, our internal definition is sort of everything you need to do manufacturing, but not with the scale that is required to really drive your costs down. So we'll have a single crystal growth chamber built within the next few weeks, it sounds like. All but one of the key components are at our facility. And then we have seed preparation technology there, and we're bringing in characterization technology. So we'll be able to grow what we believe is state-of-the-art diamond crystals, I think at a cost structure that's going to be less than highly competitive. But it'll prove the principle, and then we can show through simple arithmetic how to scale the technology. And we anticipate doing that at around the A round, have the A round support development of a full 24/7 manufacturing facility in the Michigan region.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Keith, with Great Lakes Crystal Technologies. we're going to move into the voting poll now. So we'll see you at the end. For those of you that are still around, we want you to get your cell phones out. We're going to give you some quick instructions as we promised. You will want to vote for your best pitch. So again, we want to thank Forefront Credit Union for the $500 pitch prize. Hi, Jen.
Hey, that was a great pitches and nicely done. And yeah, you're right. Now, Josh, who is our producer in the background he's with AK Videos. He's got a great sense of humor. He's super smart and he does great video production, and he's starting the poll. And there we go. So you can text in your votes now. And a lot of great questions tonight too. Wow. It was all above me, but it's fascinating. I learned a lot. And we still have 2.5 minutes for voting. And we want you to vote on the business idea that you feel is likely to scale and create some employment opportunities and higher paying jobs, hopefully in our area or at least somewhere in our region. And we also have to mention, Lisa, that we are fully supported by our sponsors and by our members. I know you mentioned that in the beginning, but we're a nonprofit, and without the support of members and our sponsors, we couldn't make this happen. And it's amazing how many opportunities have come out of TCNewTech. Businesses that have pitched over the past 6 years of us doing this and have made connections, whether it's with investors or it's with someone who does production or does programming. We've got a vast audience, and it's really exciting to see us moving someone's idea forward. And we go to great lengths to make that happen.
Yeah, if you're someone that has pitched at TCNewTech, I know that Jen probably receives stories, but it's so fun to kind of get updates on where you were, where you are now. You know, those small iterations and changes in your company that have made a difference, or specifically how someone that you met at TCNewTech connected you to someone, or that we connected you to someone that made a difference. So those are always great stories to uplift us and encourage us and keep us going. And certainly, by all means, if you are able to support by way of manufacturing. I've heard that word a lot tonight. Membership and or sponsorship. You know, give us a call. We'd love to have your support. Yeah. Any feel for when TCNewTech will be back at the Opera House?
Well, things are changing as of today. So we are working on that, and it's quite possible it could happen in July or August. So it looks like we're down to the final 5 seconds, and we're going to have a winner, and we'll be bringing that winner out. Congratulations to Clayton Comby. Hey, Clayton.
Congratulations.
You got to unmic your mute. Unmic your mute. Unmute your mic.
Got to unmic that mute. It's funny. I was listening to my wife celebrating in the other room, and I got
Good. Well, thank you. We really hope that, you know, this exposure and this small gift from Forefront Credit Union can help to, you know, further launch your business, and maybe we can make some connections and, you know, find an investor that wants to move your business forward.
Absolutely. Yeah. If anybody here wants to reach out, I could talk to anybody all day about this, as you might guess. So I'm sure everybody here who's been presenting is in the same boat. But yeah, you know, it's been going for a long time since I mentioned, which I mentioned, and I've only recently made this switch into tech from the film world, and this was one of the first things that came to mind of here's something that I can do that I really, really care about and that I'm going to do really, really well. And now I just need to convince some other people of that. And apparently I have.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think it's a great app, and I can definitely see the applications. So, well, thanks, Clayton, and congratulations. We'll be in touch with you. We're going to put you back in the green room for now. And while Lisa tells us a little bit more about our supporting sponsors.
Yeah, Jen, we've got a job board. So I want to make sure everybody is aware of that. So I think you're probably going to share a slide here. But while we wait, if you visit TCNewTech.org, there is an opportunity to choose the job board. And even our job board on our website is an in-kind sponsor. So you can see True Job right down at the bottom. So if you don't have the dollars necessarily, but you might have a solution that you could provide and be a sponsor, we have in-kind sponsorship opportunities. So thank you to everybody listed here. We have the next slide will tell me what I'm supposed to say. Oh, there it is, job board. It's really ahead of myself tonight, Jen. So our you could post a job that you have available, or if you're looking for a job yourself, you can go there and do that. So again, thank you so much to Sarah and her team at Michigan Broadband Services, bringing fiber to us all, and our main sponsorship. Thank you so much. And that is a wrap. So our next event is going to be Tuesday, July 6th, 6 p.m., same time, possibly same place. So you might want to join and become a member so that you can get updated as things evolve, and visit our Facebook page and visit TCNewTech.org. And for those of you in town, please head over to the workshop. We'd love to see you there. It's been a while. We all need a lot of hugs and hellos. So congratulations again to our winner this evening, Great Lakes Crystal Technology, lighting designer. It's been a tongue-tied evening tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa, and thanks for everybody for watching. Have a great night.